What's going on, guys? Quality XA here today, and today we're going to be rounding up all of the information this week from Bungie and all of their developers, community managers. So let's get right into this. So first up, we have obtaining raid and trials of the 9 gears by just being in a clan is another waste of magic, and Cosmo actually responded, "Thanks for the feedback. We've been monitoring the players' response to this system and are considering changing it up in the future. We see many players who feel this trivialises the rewards. Keep letting us know what you think." Now, I extremely agree with this point. I mean, you could just sit in a clan, be a low level, and be rewarded with raid as well as trials gear for doing nothing, and it's kind of unfair, especially for the people that grind out getting trials gear, and people who are just sitting in their clan will be rewarded for it. Extremely unfair in my honest opinion, but hopefully they do change it to make it better. But I do understand on the other hand that some players just don't get to experience the raid if they're a solo player, and it's the same with trials as well, so we'll just have to wait and see how Bungie can actually balance that out. Next we have this question. It says, is there anything planned for the Matchmaker to have solos prioritise other solos? Really demotivating to have half of your games versus 4 stacks. There really is no chance the PC player base will keep going down if the new player experience is like this. And Kevin Yanes replied, the team is aware of this issue. We're actively talking about potential solutions to this. No ETA at the moment, but the goal is to give solo players a fair chance at winning. Thanks for the feedback. Now again, completely agree with this point. It's definitely something that has been overdue, and it used to happen a lot in Destiny 1 as well. You'd get a bunch of 6 players who would go out and play sweats, which is fair enough, but they should play other 6 players. Solos should play solos, or maybe teams of 2 at the most, but we'll just have to wait and see how Bungie can actually counteract this. I really hope they can, because some of the times I do enjoy playing solo by myself, but again, does get really demotivating when you do come up against them big team. Next up, we actually have this from Cosmo on Reddit, and it's regarding the private test realms. So it says, DMG was the welder of Sturm and Drang. He is pretty good. I was in that plague test too, and I'm decent. As far as private test realms, I would love to see one someday. I've let the team know that this is a high priority for the community. Now what this is PTR is basically where you can actually test the game for Bungie and leave feedback for it. So you basically get a version ahead of other people and test out all of the new mechanics, the new patches, the new DLC, and Bungie will basically take all of the feedback, review it, and see how they can change it before the official DLC comes out. Definitely something that's needed, because I don't believe every single Bungie player is a hardcore Destiny fan, if that makes any sense. Hopefully there is some big private tests though, because I'd really enjoy to get involved with that. Next up we have this from Derek Carroll, and he said, next up we have some information about private matches. So this was said, I was wondering if private matches for Destiny 2 will be behind a DLC paywall when they're released, or will everyone who owns the base game be able to access the private match playlist? And Derek Carroll replies, we announced back in January that private matches would be available to all players of Destiny 2. Now this is particularly good for esports. I do believe Destiny has the potential to be an esports game, along in weapons and all of that kind of jazz is actually fared out. But it is really awesome indeed that everyone has access to it, and so right they should do. In Destiny 1 they obviously added private matches and everyone had access to it, so they definitely have to for Destiny 2. Next up we have a question from Sir Demetrius, I do believe that's how you say his name, big YouTuber, and he says rank playlist. And somebody replied saying, I keep saying this, if it's not ranked playlist and you can hit top rank by pub stomp farming quick play, it will be a joke. And Kevin Yanes replied, I don't know why you keep saying this, I agree. And Mike Miller replies, because no one has explicitly told us how it will work. All that's really been talked about is 2 kinds of ranking, but not too much what ranked play it will look like. And Kevin replies, haha, fair enough, soon I'll hop on the blog and give you some deets. I hear you all when it comes to ranks, and I agree. I am an avid consumer of ranks in other games. If nothing else, I want what you want. Mike Miller replies, thanks man, I'm really anxious to see it knocked out of the park. And Kevin finally replies with, me too man, This is easily the toughest thing I've ever worked on, most gratifying though. So really awesome indeed. Ranked playlist definitely needs to come about. We do know that there is going to be a ranking system where you actually apply emblems and will get different ranks with the more you actually play. Really awesome, definitely needed. Cannot wait to play that, as I am a big Crucible player myself, so hopefully that works out really well as well. Next we have this on Twitter from Michael Bell. He said, "Did we ever get a clarification on the specifics of in-air accuracy for Dawnblades? Last I heard, people had asked if it was from a short buff applied after using the melee ability, or from the exotic body piece, and either DMG or Cosmo planned on checking for us." And Josh Hamrick replies, "Short buff following a swift strike melee. It's the same window as the current moment and reload speed buff." So again, some real good changes there. I'm just hoping that the Dawnblade becomes a little bit more powerful than what it currently is, because I do believe it's one of the most underused classes currently in Destiny 2, because it's just pure and simple, not powerful enough. So hopefully that works well and they can do some good changes on that. Next up we have this tweet, and it's basically talking about some of the features in the TWAB, and it says, "I love all of the changes that you guys have described in the TWAB this week. I have just one concern. When compared to a rocket, which is easy one-hit kill upon several enemies, a sniper and shotgun will always be overlooked. Always it's an easy decision." Josh Hamrick replies, "I'm not going to imply I can predict the future, but I can say that in combination with the ammo changes, there have been significantly less rockets in playtests." Really good to hear that indeed. I am a rocket launcher user, but I do want to use fusion rifles, shotguns and snipers a lot more. I do know that fusion rifles have always been pretty decent, but I've never been a big fan of the snipers in this game, and I just have no use for them. I don't use them in PvP, I don't use them in PvE. I just really wish there was more opportunity to use these types of weapons, because I know there will be some in this update, which are hopefully really extremely good, that force me to use them. We'll just have to wait and see. Let me know your thoughts. Are you a big shotgun, sniper or fusion rifle fan, or are you the same with using things such as the colony and rocket launchers? Next up we have some information about the exotic tuning. So Kalinski said, "You'll have to prize the fighting lion from my cold dead hands, bro." And John Winooski said, "It's getting better too." So very good news there. The fighting lion, obviously the most underused exotic in the game currently, it is getting a buff, which is really nice to hear, because it's grenade launchers and they are underused. So it will be something new and something to change, and something that works well with the current meta that we are going to be getting, where they're changing the ammo system. Like we said, shotguns, snipers, fusion rifles are underused, but so are grenade launchers apart from the colony. So hopefully a step in the right direction with some changes there. Next we have, speaking about the colony, yeah, the colony is nuts, but at least it takes up your exotic slot. Exotics should be strong. Can't wait to see what the other exotics look like after the exotic weapon pass. DMG then replies, "Yeah, there will indeed be some other options that will make you think, should I run this exotic in my heavy, this in my energy, or this in my kinetic? Strong options in all slots." Very good to hear that. I have to admit, I'm a big Mida multi-tool user, so you will usually see that in my slots. I do use a really nice secondary as well, but I just don't see a need for an exotic other than the Mida. It's obviously the most perfected scout rifle in my opinion. Everyone can use it, that's why it's so good, and there's just no reason for me to change it unless they do release some exotics that are overpowered. And like this Justin Saying says, these should be overpowered, they're exotic, so we'll just have to wait and see, and hopefully they do release some really strong exotic. And then last but not least, we're talking about Battle Royale. Now, I don't believe that this is coming in Destiny, but Activision actually did speak about it, saying how much has been earned through these mobile games and through the games that are currently in the Battle Royale genre. And Sarah E. Needleman replied, which Activision Blizzard game do you think might get a Battle Royale mode first? Now, I would over-speculate Destiny. I just don't think it would fit in Destiny. Currently the PvP and everything is just too small. Maybe look for something like Call of Duty. That probably could work around it. but Destiny is just a no-no in my honest opinion. But what do you guys think of Battle Royale games at this point in time? They are really fun. I play PUBG quite a lot. Fortnite is pretty decent as well, but I don't want it to come into Destiny. That's just a personal opinion, but it would be pretty cool and it would make a lot of followers and players come over to Bungie's game. But yes guys, that's pretty much the video. If you did enjoy, a like is much appreciated, as well as subscribing if you guys are new around here for the latest and greatest content. But as always, peace out, and I hope you enjoyed.